Okay, a little video about the introduction. An introduction of a presentation is something very special. It's the very first thing you say to your audience, apart from the obvious hello or good morning or whatever. And you use it, obviously, to introduce your topic. But a very bad introduction would be, for instance, hello. Today I'm going to convince you to vote for the Amur leopard and to save this animal. You introduced your topic here, but it's always a sad thing to do it that way because you need to take your reader with you first or your listener with you first before you can convince him to listen to you. So you should try to tell a little story before you do so. Suppose I'm talking about the Amur leopard here. I've got two possible introductions. They're not real. None of these have happened for real, but it doesn't really matter because my audience doesn't know, and I've been through similar experiences, so it's not really lying as well. My first, for instance, is suppose you have a situation in which you're watching TV last week and it's like a story you tell your listener. And I got bored of watching another rerun of FC the Computer and Data Stand Up, so I start changing channels randomly, but I couldn't find anything that I really cared about until I arrived at Discovery Channel. And there I saw something that immediately caught my eye, and it was an animal that was at once beautiful, but also intriguing and mysterious. I saw something that I've never really seen before, and this animal really caught my attention, especially when I heard it was an endangered species. Today I'm going to talk about this animal, which was the Amur leopard. And I'm going to try and convince you to vote for this animal so that we can save this wonderful specimen of the animal kingdom. So this is an introduction where you start off with something that happened in your life, or not, if it's made up, of course, but could have happened in your life and sounds realistic. And then you take your audience to what you're going to try to do. Second thing is the same thing, my second possible introduction that I've got. I remember when I was 7 years old, I visited the zoo for the very first time. There were a lot of amazing animals there. You name up the animals you saw, the monkeys and the the polar bears and the penguins, etc., etc. There was this one animal that caught my eye more than any other animal. I remember walking past its cage and being caught by its stare that just didn't let me go. Its eyes were so mysterious and its fur was so shiny and majestic. Up to this very day, this animal has remained my favorite animal ever. I'm talking about the Amur leopard. And as you can see, in my text, while I'm doing my research, sometimes I see beautiful pictures. And it's of course a sad thing if you then close the website and you think about, oh, I saw this beautiful picture of an Amur leopard, where was it? You immediately should post it somewhere. So you put it in the drafts, copy paste, poof. And if I now want to make my slide, my presentation, I can just copy paste this into my Google Slides and it's there. I can also think about when am I going to put which slide where in this part here. So as you can see, I don't start with a picture of my Amur leopard, which would be logical. Most of you would probably use a picture of their animal as their first slide, which is logical to do, but it's also boring because before I told you what I'm going to talk about, you know what I'm going to talk about. And people love to be triggered. So here, for instance, it would be really cool to start with a picture of FC de Kampioenen, because that's what I start with. And people will wonder, why the hell is there a picture of FC de Kampioenen in your first slide when you want to talk about animals? And then you start your story. I was watching TV and I got bored, and people will realize, okay, that's a story he's going to use to. And that's fun because they're thinking and they'll listen to you. So that's the second thing. This is already hinting at the presentations, but in your introduction, try not to make your first picture a picture of your animal. Save that. It'll make people think about what animal is he or she going to talk about. People love to think. If you can make them think, they'll love your presentation more. Keep that in mind. Okay, is there something else that you need to know? So as I said, this here will be your starting point for speaker notes. Some of my speaker notes, for instance, suppose you always forget the word mid-sized animals. If you forget the fact they eat gazelles, then you've got this. On your speaker notes, they will be like short papers. They will be like this big, probably. They have to fit in your hands, and your audience can't really see them. They'll obviously know you've got papers in your hands, but they're not really, it shouldn't be visible for them. So if you make speaker notes, never copy paste your entire text. Especially don't bring big papers that will hide your face when you read them, but try to eliminate as many words as you can. Like, okay, I forget the word fierceful. Okay, I know it's the most fierceful, so I probably won't forget that. I remember it's sweet. Okay, and then I said, okay, they're fast, but they're also smart. And then there's something about no sound. And can you see how I've eliminated without making a sound? So I'm going to just pick the word sound. If I want to know what I'm going to say about character now, I've got 4 keywords: fierceful, fast, smart, and sound. If I've practiced my text at home, I'll know what to say. Sometimes I'll make a mistake. That doesn't really matter, because I'll be engaging with my audience because I know my text. And if I forgot, oh my god, I knew what I was going to say with fierceful, but what came after that? I just look at my page. Oh yeah, they were fast. And you continue talking. They are very fast. They're one of the fastest animals in the world. Okay, I said that. And then I knew I had to say something about smart. So that's how speaker notes work. Try to keep that in mind. Never bring a full text. Same for food. You put this on the next speaker note that you bring, on the next card. I forgot the animal. Okay. It was a link for animals with the most beautiful names. Okay, this is something that I forget. Keep it there in full. It doesn't really matter. But can you see that there's very little information on my speaker notes? Because then you'll be talking about your animal and not reading off a text, which is the worst. If you do that, your points will be better than if you make a lot of mistakes. Believe me. Okay, it's a lot of information, of course. If something's unclear, stop the video, watch it again, pause it. If something's unclear, ask me. I'll try to help you out, and try to do everything you've seen in here as well as you can. It's not an easy task, but if you can do a few things of what I've said, your presentation already will be pretty good. Okay, good luck. Make it something fun and beautiful.